Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Facebook Live. My name is Gary Carton, and I'm with Safe Kids Worldwide. Today, we are talking about Halloween, which, as we all know, is coming up in just a few days. Very, very exciting time of the year. We know Halloween is going to look a little bit different this year, but it's still, again, one of the most exciting nights of the year. So today, we want to talk about lots of different ways to make it fun and also make it safe. And we've got two perfect guests for you today that we're going to bring out in just a second. Before we get started, though, I really, really want to encourage everybody to ask questions. We really want this to be interactive. We know Halloween is going to be a great night for you and your family. But if you have any questions, I guarantee there are other people that are wondering those same things. So please ask away, no matter how big or small, and we will get to it throughout the program. So let's get right to it. Our first guest is Ali Landry. Ali is an actress, a child safety advocate. She's the co-founder of Red Carpet Safety Awareness Event. She's the co-founder of Reshape, which is a health and wellness platform. And she's just really an amazing mom and a great friend to Safe Kids Worldwide. Ali, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, you guys. I'm so happy to be with you here, especially for this great event talking all about Halloween safety.
Super awesome. And I noticed you have, are you wearing something, a design or a costume on your head?
Really? This thing that you so large and basically taking over my entire space. Look, last year I was really inspired by all of the Day of the Dead gorgeous costumes that I was seeing. So I made this myself. It's a headband. I'll take it off so you can see. It's great for when your hair is dirty, you know.
That would be perfect for me then.
And everything looks great. Who doesn't look great with a flower crown? So it's like part of my go-to arsenal of like go-to Halloween costumes. So here
awesome. Perfect. And our second guest is Dr. Katie Donnelly. Dr. Donnelly is a ER doctor, an emergency room doctor at Children's National in Washington, D.C. She's the medical director for Safe Kids Worldwide. And she's just a total hero who's dedicated her life to children and families. And Dr. Donnelly, we're so grateful for everything that you do. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Gary and Ali. I'm really excited to be here. Halloween is one of my absolute favorite holidays. So I'm really excited to be able to talk about how families can make it safe.
Awesome. And I see you have some headgear too as well. I'm feeling very left out, like I didn't get the memo at the beginning here.
Well, you got to get in the spirit, right?
Just you have some B things up there. Is that for be safe?
I wish I had planned that far ahead, Gary. Yes, it's for be safe.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, let's get started. Ali, why don't we start with you? And as I said, I'm so glad that you joined us today, just because I think you're the perfect person for this event. You have such an amazing perspective about just how to have fun, but also keeping it safe. I know Halloween is really important to your family. Can you talk about why it's such a great time to celebrate this year, maybe more than any other year?
The funny thing is, we're in different times now. So how we as parents can be creative and kind of flip the switch and still make this an awesome, fun holiday, even with some of the restrictions that are going on. So for us, I feel like this is maybe one of our best Halloweens ever. We're planning on heading to a friend's ranch, so the kids will have free reign to run everywhere. We did, get some great Halloween costumes. We're going to do tractor rides. We're making like crazy desserts like dirt cake with Oreos and worms coming through. And we have the movie screen that the kids are going to watch a scary, but not too scary movie. I feel like before, we just kind of hopped in the car. We went to the neighborhood. We walked around. I was literally in panic mode the entire time because of the 3 kids and feeling like, one darts. I got to keep track of this one, but the other 2 are here. So I feel like this is going to be, I don't know, maybe even a more special Halloween than we ever had before. So I'm excited.
Well, I think that's just such an important point that you make. It's finding, we know these are crazy times, scary times, I guess, for Halloween and otherwise. But by having such a great attitude, and you just seem to make it, I know it's not as easy as you make it seem, but by doing some little things, you can kind of turn this Halloween into something that might have unfortunately not been so good, but maybe could be more special than ever. So we are so appreciative of what you do and how you share all these amazing ideas with moms all across the country. And that brings us perfectly into Dr. Donnelly. Dr. Donnelly, I actually wanted to ask you, did you want to be a doctor your whole life? Like when you were a kid, were you dressed up as a doctor for Halloween or?
I never dressed up as a doctor for Halloween. I think I had a brief time where I wanted to be a famous musician / singer, but pretty early on, I had picked doctor and stuck with doctor.
Well, we won't ask you to sing right now, unless we have
for the best.
But we are very glad that you became a doctor because it's really important, some of the messages that you're going to provide for everybody today. And I guess we'll do this in segments. Let's start out with, we know a pandemic's going on, and we know parents want to do everything they can to protect their kids and make sure that nothing spreads. What are some basic tips that families need to know about just the pandemic and keeping it safe for Halloween?
Yeah, so unfortunately, even though Halloween is a great holiday for us, COVID is not going to take it off. So we have to do the same stuff we're doing every single day to keep ourselves, our families, and the ones we love in our community safe. So that means staying home if you feel sick, if you got the sniffles, if you have a fever, stay home. Avoid large gatherings. Stay 6 feet apart. Remember to wear your mask. A costume mask doesn't count. So it needs to be a true fabric mask. And they do make some really cute ones that you can get for your children that are Halloween themed. Or if you have one, you can decorate a mask. Just don't put any paint or magic markers on it because those can be toxic. And make sure you're washing your hands.
Yeah, I think that was such an amazing tip because I feel like people would think like, oh, Halloween we wear a mask normally. A lot of people wear a mask, and that would count as their safe mask. So thank you for sharing that. I mean, that kind of clarified some things for me. I love that. And also, I never really thought about decorating a mask. Of course, with not the things that you said, putting paint and all these kind of things on it that could be toxic, but that's even a super fun, cool project for the family to do, like decorating their mask. I love that.
Right, and it's another way to find ways to make this Halloween different and special by just using a little creativity. A lot of parents are tired and they got a million things going on, but there are some just little things that we can all do to kind of make it more special this year. So those are great. That's great advice. Okay, so now we got that. We got the basics of the overall COVID guidelines, but we know those guidelines are different in different neighborhoods. We know parents are going to be using their own judgment based on what they think is best to either go out or stay in. Do you have some ideas for parents on what some safer alternatives might be and some activities that they can do for the night? I know, Dr. Donnelly, why don't you go ahead? And then Ali, you were mentioning some of your creative ideas you were doing as well.
I mean, there's so many ways you can make Halloween safe and fun at the same time. One thing I'm encouraging a lot of my patients is think about going virtual. Plan a virtual Halloween costume party with family and friends. Everyone's in their own home, but on FaceTime or Zoom or something like that. 2, think about doing a scary movie shared video watch where everybody will be on the same FaceTime call and they start the movie at the same time. And then you guys can all eat popcorn and get spooked together, but still stay virtual and distanced. Just make sure, like Ali mentioned, nothing too scary. You don't want to be up all Halloween night with nightmares for your toddler.
Or me, by the way, because my wife, she likes scary movies and I hate them. So on Halloween, I watch one scary movie with her ear and then I'm up all night scared out of my mind. I know this isn't okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Ali, what were you going to say?
No, again, Dr. Donnelly, another amazing takeaway. So, I think my kids at the beginning of quarantine did a shared movie experience, but this is an amazing time to do that kind of shared movie experience, especially with a movie that's, like you said, spooky, but not too spooky. And I was just thinking as you were talking, normally my kids never get to share Halloween with their cousins who are in Louisiana. So this could be like a really great opportunity for them to kind of get dressed up, pick their movie, watch together, get a little spooked together. We're going to do that. We're going to do that one too. I love it. I love it. I wanted to share with you guys too. I'm head of my neighborhood watch on my street. And I got an email from a neighbor who has 2 twin children, same age as my kids. And everybody's kind of bummed because the governor's not allowing, kids to start to go trick-or-treating this year. So she suggested, she said, listen, I'm trying to normalize Halloween for my kids. If, you guys want to come by, what I'm planning on doing is putting the kids behind our gate. And I'm going to set up markers on the street so every family can be 10 feet apart. And if you email me if you're coming to make sure I have enough candy, and we're going to do like a candy toss. Like, so, how they're going to toss and then the kids are going to try to catch it like in their bucket. And I just thought, there's a mom who's totally flipping the switch and creating like something fun and unique and different and still making it happen. Kids are going to have a blast. The neighbor's going to have a blast. I just love that idea. I wanted to share it.
That's awesome. And I know that, Ali, you were mentioning some other ideas in terms of candy you've created and different kind of, I know not everyone has time to do all these different things, but do you have any ideas in terms of how they can use that to
okay.
get? Yeah.
I do, Gary. I'm very excited about this because last night, I'm not kidding you, I was on Pinterest all night. Normally, I don't cook for Halloween because, we're out and about in the street. But this year, I got to find a way to like create that same sort of experience. So one thing I saw, and I haven't quite figured out the punch, but it's some sort of punch. And they filled up surgical gloves with ice, with water, froze it, and then removed the glove. And the ice that was sitting within the punch was like a hand. Like a frozen hand. I thought that was brilliant. That I did, I think 2 Halloweens past when we went over to a friend's, it's you carve out a pumpkin, right? You have the eyes and you sort of have the mouth just like a circle. And out of the mouth, it looks like the jack-o'-lantern is vomiting guacamole.
That's pretty good.
That was a huge hit. And so this year, like I said, I remember my mom making this thing called a dirt cake, like when I was, I don't know, in my teens or something. And the top is like Oreo crumbles. You put it in a food processor, and it's sort of layered with pudding and then with a cream cheese whipped cream situation. And she always put a flower, and brought it to the party in a flower pot with the flour. So what I was going to do, I haven't decided my container yet, but I was going to put the gummy worms. I was going to try to go and find some little ghosts or some little jack-o'-lanterns, and that's going to be a dessert I'm going to bring. Or another one I saw was you take like a tiny little pretzel and you put 2 little marshmallows on either end, and then you dip it in white chocolate, and it looks like bones. So
wow. That is incredible. You are amazing. These are some really, really great ideas.
Yeah, I love them.
So thanks. And then I wanted to get back to Dr. Donnelly. One more question for you, because we know that we have COVID, we have the pandemic and all these great ideas for how to be creative. But at the same time, Halloween just in general is a night that, as we said, can be scary sometimes because kids are excited. They're jacked up on sugar. They're running all over the place. And unfortunately, sometimes we see more injuries on this night than any other night. Yeah. Can you give us a few tips that parents should think about just from an injury prevention standpoint so that kids are out and having fun and not coming to visit you in the ER on Halloween?
Oh, yeah. Halloween night is definitely one of those nights when you are prepared in the emergency department to see some kids injured by cars. So it's my goal to make sure we're preventing that. The first thing is make sure your kid can be seen. Have them put a glow stick around their neck, get fluorescent tape, get fluorescent paint to put on their costume, wear bright costumes and not dark costumes. The more things you can do to make sure your child can be seen by cars, the safer they're going to be. 2, review the rules of the road. So they need to be crossing at crosswalks. They need to be waiting for traffic lights. They need to be watching out for younger brothers and sisters if they're with them and make sure they're holding hands and getting across the street. Because we know that cars expect kids to cross where they're supposed to cross, not dart out in between the middle of 2 cars. And 3, put the phones down. So if you're walking across the street, make sure that you've talked to your child about putting that phone in their pocket. The only thing they should be concentrating on is walking across the street. And parents, we need to model that behavior. If they see us checking our phone while we're walking across the street, they're going to think it's okay too.
That's great advice for any night, but especially this night. And Ali, I wanted to ask you, because you seem like you're just the greatest mom, so much energy, so much fun. But what people might not know is that you can be tough at times too. And so can you talk about how you talk to your kids about this to make sure that they're following these rules and make sure that they actually do it?
Well, first of all, I have to say again, like, bow down, Dr. Donnelly. Like, those are incredible tips. I will yet again steal from you. And I just want to kind of talk about a few of them. Like, I feel like every year I do the glow sticks. But if the child is turned the other way, I'm not seeing that glow stick. Last year, I did have a little bit of a scare. We were in a neighborhood, hundreds of people. I'm trying to keep track of 3 kids. I have one that's like a darter, he's like, once it's gone, I'm like, it's the search, right? And I did notice a few people had like these costumes. One they had these wings and they were glowing and like with LED lights. Another family had these jumpsuits with, again, all the LED lights. And I was like, that's brilliant, because you see them coming from a mile away. And I think a simple fix for all of us to kind of make our children pop a little more so cars can see them, or even for us, is doing some of those things like you said, the tape. I never thought about putting a reflective tape, or even just taking some paint and putting some of that reflective paint on their costume. I think that's like such a great idea. And as far as the phones are concerned, I just think like there's moments like at the dinner table, like for a family activity, where we're really trying to create those quality time, like that quality time with our family. Take away the phones. Like, I don't feel bad about that at all. My kids don't have phones. It's more of the thing for me. And you're right. If I'm like looking down at my phone, trying to keep track of 3 kids, that's like a recipe for disaster. Put away the phones, be present, be in the moment, have those times where you can say, okay, everybody, now we're going to get together. We're going to get a picture, or stand right here. Let's get a picture. Make sure your entire group is together. But other than that, put them away. Put them away.
That's great. And Dr. Donnelly, what about drivers? Because we talk about, you're totally right. I like what you said about drivers aren't expecting kids to be darting out. But is there something this night more than anyone? We know twice as many kids are hit by cars on Halloween.
Yeah.
Is there tips for drivers if they're just running out to the store real quick, or trying to get home from work so they can enjoy the night? What tips do you have for drivers?
So a lot of it is the same tips I would give someone if they were driving in bad weather, for example. It's go a lot slower, especially during the times that kids are going to be out and about, so around 5 to 9 p.m.
Oh, the dramatic pause from Dr. Donnelly there. Looks like it might have froze up a little bit.
Here, she's still frozen.
Okay, well, I think that is a great point.
To
Yeah, Ali, go ahead.
any distractions in your car. It's not the time to be, it's never the time to be texting and driving, but now particularly. They did really hopped up on sugar. They might not take the pause they need to. So be aware.
And again, for that, I think that's such a great tip. But I think for all of us.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. Thank you. We caught up with you, Dr. Donnelly. Thank you so much.
Okay. No, I think that's also such a great tip. But I'm also thinking of like people who don't have children, who might not be fully aware it's like Halloween and kids are, out and about and maybe crossing streets unnecessarily. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're doing great. We hear you perfectly.
And I think the solution for that is really the conversation, we as parents have with our friends, our family, to say, hey, you guys, the kids are going to be out tonight. Just be extra aware when you're driving anywhere. It's just like pushing that conversation forward, so others are aware as well.
Perfect. And Dr. Donnelly, I think, might have been having some internet problems. So she is going to sign off and sign on, as we were taught how to do during our big rehearsal. In the meantime, why don't we get to a few questions here? We have one from Carrie Chalmers. I think that's the way you pronounce her last name. Where can we go for more Halloween safety tips? This was not planned, but thank you so much for asking it. if you can go to safekids.org is the perfect place. You can go on. The first banner on safekids.org has a video. We've got some guests back there. Ali, what do you realize that there are some people behind you in your house here? Oh, you're we can't hear you now, Ali. Oh.
Here we go. These are my two little boys. This is Marcelo, who's a Roman soldier. And this is Valentine, who I'm sure you can guess what he is, an awesome dinosaur. So they're really excited. They just want to put their costumes on any chance.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were going to have a dinosaur.
I know you've been home with them and getting ready, so I know they've been very patient while we've been doing this today, which is great, and we're so appreciative. They're absolutely adorable, which is no surprise.
Oh.
Well, thank you so much. We've got some more questions that we will get to, and we will answer those on Facebook, so please find us. Like I said, for more information, go to safekids.org, and we've got a big banner that you can click and see a blog with lots of tips. Dr. Donnelly, maybe we'll give you a final word here as well. Do you have any last tips? Thank you again so much for everything that you do today and every day. You're a total hero. Any last messages for everybody out there?
I think carving pumpkins is going to be a great thing that everybody can do together. Just remember, little guys shouldn't be holding knives, and watch out for lit candles. So consider a glow stick or a flashlight in there instead. Otherwise, I want everyone to have a wonderful and safe Halloween.
Awesome. And Ali, we'll leave it up to you then for the final word. Ali, thank you so much I know you have so much going on, but I know that you're one of those really rare people that cares clearly about your own kids, but cares about every kid just as much. So thank you for everything that you do today and beyond. Did you have any final words for everybody?
Well, about carving the pumpkins, I don't know. I feel like you almost need power tools to do that. We miserably failed. My husband had to take over. But for the little kids, what I do for them is I normally just get like tons of stickers. And again, like you said, like paint and glitter. And that's how the kids, the littler ones, sort of do their pumpkins. But this was so much fun. It was sort of like an early Halloween celebration for all of us. And I do want to show you guys, because we didn't really decorate the outside of our house. So I tried my best to kind of create that kind of atmosphere in. So I have to show you my spider web. So I'm just going to tilt this up.
Holy moly. Wow.
Ooh.
You can't really
wow.
see.
Yeah,
But
we can see it.
I covered the whole ceiling of our house in spider webs, and the kids got a big kick out of that. But this was so fun doing this with you guys, and I really hope that everybody has a safe and fun Halloween, right? Say happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great, great Halloween, and we stay safe and have fun. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.